Hi everyone, it's Corey. My voice is so monstrously low in the morning, but I have a large cup of coffee and I have a half an hour until I have to get to school. So I figured we could do like a kind of get ready with me thing, like in a pinch that still makes you look awesome. I have nothing on my face right now except some moisturizer, some eye cream, and my primer. But all that I'll leave down in the description box, and let's just get started. Okay, so this is going to be a powder foundation routine, so I want to start with all my cream-based products underneath them because you don't want to layer like liquid or cream products on top of powder because then they can separate and get kind of weird, so I'm just not going to do it. So I'm going to use my under eye brightener, and this one is by Physicians Formula. All the specifics will be down below, but I don't have my glasses on, so I have to get really close to this mirror. But I'm just practically going from my inner corner, kind of dragging out and then dragging up, and that's it. So I'm just going to throw some on the other side in the same kind of stretched out V pattern, and then I'm going to use a little, oh god, where is it? I'm going to use a little pointed foundation brush type thing to kind of pat it in and then to sort of sweep it around. And I'm taking this right up into the inner corner, kind of dragging it down, dragging it out, and pressing this right against the lower lash line. Sweeping a little bit over my eyelids. Okay, so this is with the concealer done only, and this just kind of got rid of my shadows. I don't really deal with bags or anything crazy like that, so I find just a very light layer of brightener is really good for my under eyes. So next step, which is kind of weird, but I think this really works for me, is I'm going to take a setting spray and I'm going to drown my face in this. Maybe I'm not. Okay. So my face is sopping wet right now, and now, important, while it's still wet, I'm going to take some powder foundation that I have a lot of pan hit on, and that's my backup alarm. And now I'm just going to buff this quickly all over my face while the setting spray is still kind of wet. Okay, so that is the powder foundation done. That just evened out my evened out my skin tone. I don't deal with any crazy skin tone problems, so I find that a layer of powder foundation is really all I need. And by doing the whole setting spray thing and buffing it in when it was wet, it kind of gave it a more skin-like finish, and it helped with the longevity. So, and for setting the under eye area, I'm just going to take my Guerlain Pressed Meteorites on a Real Technique setting brush, tap the excess off, and I'm just going to push this underneath my eyes, keeping it in that kind of triangular shape, dusting a little bit over my eyelids. Okay, so now it's time for that kind of signature Corey, very elaborate, glowy, buffed out cheek. And this I'll keep in real time because it's kind of specific, placement wise and everything. And although it is kind of you know, I do use 4 products in total to achieve this whole cheek look, and it does take a bit of precision and stuff. I think when you get the hang of it, it's actually a really quick thing to do, and it always looks fantastic if you pair your tones right. So to start, I'm going to, actually I'm not going to do that. To start, I'm going to take my Chanel blush, and this is in the color Vivacite, and this is number 88. This was limited edition, but it's it's kind of a bright, orchid pink color. And I am going to take this on a Real Techniques, just duo fiber face brush. And I'm just gonna tap this kind of into I'm gonna kind of take the flat of it and kind of squish it in so that I get the product on one side of it. Tap off the excess. And then I am taking this kind of towards the back of my cheek. And just kind of, you know, pulling it forward and also pulling it onto my temples a little bit. Well, not my temples, but just kind of like the side of my face. And that's sort of like, that sort of starts off the base of my cheek. And I'm just going to take a little bit more actually and focus it right on like the back of my cheek. Okay, so that's like step one of how I like achieve my blushy look. And now that was kind of like a satin matte finish blush that I put all over, and now I'm going to take a kind of glowier, sort of paler blush, and for that I'm going to mix these two out of the Hourglass Ambient blush palette, and this one is in Luminous Flush and Incandescent Electra. And mixed together, these just turn out as like a really kind of pale, pretty, like ethereal pink. So I'm just taking it again on the flat of the brush and just mixing those two together, tapping off the excess, and I'm just hitting this right on like the high apple, so sort of right here. And I'm just sort of like pouncing that on in like a little circle. And that really like brightened the center of my face. I wish that this was a better camera so you could like see the effects that these were all giving. And next, for the highlight, what I like to do is I like to do a kind of liberal highlight from like here down in like a kind of circle. And then I like to do a very deliberate highlight with different placement. So for the overall highlight, I'm going to be using that Maybelline Master Highlight Blush in Natural. And for that, I'm going to take this on a kind of strange-ish brush, if I can find it. I'm going to take it on this kind of like tapered duo fiber brush thing. It's pretty much a stippling brush like with an angle. So I'm just going to kind of swirl it all up in there, tap off the excess, especially for the highlight because you don't want to get like the chunks of shimmer. Oops, sorry. Okay, so now I'm just hitting this from right here on the top of my eyebrow, kind of like in my eyebrow, and then I'm swirling it down. And that just gives me like a base of the glow, kind of an all over sheen. And then I'm taking that Real Technique setting brush again, taking this Real Technique setting brush again, and I am going into one of the Hourglass Ambient powders, and I'm going into Incandescent Light, just a little tiny bit, tapping off the excess, and right where the top of your cheek is, like really like the top of your cheekbone, it's sort of like where the corner of your eye is, I am just going to hit that highlight right there and leave it very like kind of stark, just right there, kind of just buffing out the edges a teeny tiny bit and building that up one more time. And that just gives like an out of this world, like diffused glowy cheek look. And I'm just gonna do it on the other side and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I know that you can like barely see what's going on with the whole cheek situation, but it pretty much just, I don't know, it just looks like really like blurred and like buffed out, and because of all the different textures, like it really gives my cheek like dimension, and I don't know, I am getting a little bit washed out right now, but it just looks really awesome. So yeah. So if you just follow that kind of technique like on yourself, see the kind of effects that it gives, I think that it's really quite stunning. And now I'm just gonna throw on my eyebrows. I'm gonna film a separate video on that, so I'm not gonna get like too involved with that, but I will say that I use Dipbrow. So yeah, and I'll be back. Hey everyone, so the end of that video actually never got recorded, and I just realized it like a day later. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, my eyebrows pretty much, if you look through like any of my videos, I always do them exactly the same. Like, it's kind of they're kind of straight, and then like they have a pretty sharp like angle right around here, and then I brush them all up, and then I kind of brush them over. And then I put on like a layer of mascara after that, and then I attempted to go say like, oh, thank you for watching, have a good one. But apparently I never actually pressed the record button, and I didn't realize it till now. So, you may see a little cat tail right there. But, I hope you guys don't mind that I didn't show, like, the very, very end of that. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a good one. Thanks for watching. Bye.